As Shannon mentioned, my name is Natalie Jones, and I'm an accessibility specialist here at the OAS. Today, we're going to talk about disability conscious wellness and self-care. So what I'm going to talk about today is kind of a university DSA, Division of Student Affairs initiative, are the 9 pillars of wellness. And we're going to go over those in addition to self-care, and they both tie together really good because whenever you're practicing wellness, a lot of the times the outcome is self-care, and vice versa. Whenever you're practicing self-care, the outcome is wellness. And I'm just going to tie this all together in disability-related wellness. So why is wellness and self-care important for managing my disability? So I just wanted to clarify, first of all, wellness and self-care is essential for everyone, regardless of whether or not you have a disability. Everyone on the planet needs some form of wellness and self-care in their lives in order to really live a fulfilling life. And just because someone has a disability does not mean that they are not well or unhealthy. I feel like, unfortunately, that is a myth, a common myth that's put around, that if someone has a disability, they're not well or they're not a very healthy person, and that's absolutely just not true. And additionally, wellness and self-care is very important to find as something that works for you as an individual. So regardless of what your disability is, what are some things that are important to you as far as wellness and self-care? So this could warrant a better understanding and management of your symptoms, just practicing self-care in general. So I have a couple of examples here. For instance, if you just enjoy yoga in general for self-care, unintended positive outcome might be that yoga also helps me stay calm and manage my anxiety. Similarly, if you like to limit social media for your self-care, you may notice that your depressive symptoms are alleviated the less time that you spend on social media. And another example is if you enjoy running at least 5 miles a week for self-care, maybe another positive unintended outcome is that your blood pressure is stabilized when you keep up with your running schedule. So those are just some examples where you should just find something that works best for you. And maybe even without realizing it, it might have a positive impact on managing your symptoms of your disability. So next, I'm going to talk about the 9 pillars of wellness. And these pillars of wellness are actually really well known through a lot of universities. A lot of universities are really moving towards encouraging students to be involved in these 9 pillars of wellness, just to encourage a university that is full of people who are really taking care of themselves. And that's really just going to impact, I think, the whole feel of a university just in general. So what I'm going to talk about when I'm talking about these 9 pillars of wellness is actually resources on campus where you can practice these different pillars. And I'll also talk about a few other things in relation to wellness and disability resources on campus, and also just some things in the Tallahassee community that might not necessarily be related to FSU, but some other ways just in the Tallahassee community where you can practice these pillars of wellness. So the first pillar is creative wellness. And creative wellness includes interacting with a variety of arts and cultural experiences to better understand and appreciate your surrounding world. So some examples of these are the School of Theater productions here at FSU, College of Music recitals, the Union's Art Center, and the Globe. And I'm going to go into a little detail and show you guys some websites also so you can see what is out there as far as creative wellness at FSU. So the School of Theater in the College of Fine Arts puts on productions, seasonal productions. So as you can tell, this fall, they have Disney's Newsies, the musical, Moon Man Walk, Last Stop on Market Street, Cinderella, Men on Boots, and As You Like It. So if you want to engage in creative wellness, this might be a really great resource to do so. And I highly encourage, if you've never been to one of these School of Theater productions, I really encourage you to go. I went to the Addams Family by the School of Theater a couple years ago, and it was hilarious and really just an amazing performance, and so relaxing, and a great way to actually have self-care is laughing too, I think. So some of these are just amazing. And then there is the Art Center on campus. So the Art Center is under the Union, and they have some great ways to get involved here. And some of those are Paint-A-Pot. They also have pottery. And if you don't feel comfortable going in person, you can drop by and get a Paint-A-Pot to go, and always take it home and do it with your friends at home. And additionally, part of creative wellness is really understanding the difference of cultures around you and really engaging in those and learning about them as much as you can. So that's why I included the Globe on here. So the Center for Global Engagement on campus is an amazing resource if you want to meet students from all over the world who come to FSU to study. I know they have International Coffee Hour, and that's usually on Fridays, I think at 4 or 5 p.m. And International Coffee Hour, every week they choose a different country, and they have either a cuisine from that country or a coffee or a drink from that country. And the great thing about it is a lot of the international students go to these events, and it's great to just meet people and learn about other cultures and really engage with them. Additionally, they have an English conversation club, and that's really good if you just want to, again, meet someone from abroad who's studying here at FSU and just help them practice their English and really just build a relationship with them. As you can tell, they have several other initiatives going on, and I highly involve that you get involved with them also. Okay, and then next we have physical wellness. So for physical wellness, 30 minutes of physical activity a day releases endorphins that increase your mood, sleep, and productivity. So for physical wellness, there's of course Campus Rec on campus. And whenever you think of Campus Rec, I think a lot of people just think of recreational sports and the Leach, which is the gym on campus, which those are amazing resources as far as staying active and meeting some new people, getting involved in the recreation sports. But some people don't know that actually through Campus Rec, they have a lot of other programs. For instance, they have camping trips that they do. And they go, I know they've gone to the Georgia mountains before. They've done some camping down at the beach. So those are some amazing resources if you want to grab a friend and go to Campus Rec's website and see if they have any available. I checked, and unfortunately they don't have anything on there right now, but I would assume by fall they would have some those camping trips coming up for sure. And I also put Tallahassee Parks and Rec. So there's a few amazing parks just here in Tallahassee that you can go and visit. My personal favorite is Lake Lafayette Heritage Trail. It's beautiful. It's on a lake, and it's also connected to a greenway. And it's just wide open spaces and really beautiful out there. You can go kayaking out there too. If you want to rent a kayak and go out there. There's a huge bridge that goes right over the lake, and it's just beautiful. And I think there's a couple of different trails, and they're about 1 to 2 miles, depending on which trail you go on. So it's a great way to get outside and have some physical activity in your day. Additionally, there is the St. Mark's Trail, and that's kind of on the south side of town because it goes towards the St. Mark's Lighthouse. So that is a very long trail, but if you like biking, that's a great one to do. But it takes you all the way basically to the coast. There's a lighthouse at the end, and you can tour the lighthouse, and it's just beautiful down there. So those are some Tallahassee Parks and Rec parks that you can visit. And next we have social wellness as the next pillar. So getting involved outside of the classroom and being an active member of a community can help you develop a sense of belonging. So there is a survey on the Division of Student Affairs website, the involvement survey. And if you fill that out, it'll ask you a lot of different questions, and it'll basically connect you with some of the clubs or organizations on campus that they recommend to you based on maybe your religious preferences, what your major is, what your hobbies are. There are a ton of clubs out there, and that's a great way to just fill this out and see what FSU has to offer you based on your interests. We will have this PowerPoint on our website. So all of these, of course, are linked to all of these resources. So feel free to check out our website early next week, and this should be posted on there so you can look and see some of these resources on the website. And I also added on here University of Choice. And I'm going to share with you their involvement page. So the University of Choice initiative at FSU, their mission is to provide all students with disabilities the opportunities and resources they need, not only to be successful at FSU, but to become the best version of themselves and to be the change they want to see in the world. So the University of Choice is really about making FSU the University of Choice for students with disabilities. And they are a club, and they're also I would say, kind of like an advocate for students with disabilities on campus. If that's something you want to get involved in, I highly encourage it. You can meet other students who have disabilities or are very passionate for advocating for individuals with disabilities by joining University of Choice. They also have some amazing programs that they throw throughout the year. They've done accessible sports before. Accessible dodgeball, I know, is one of the really popular ones that they do. And they also have speakers throughout the year who come and talk about their disability and some amazing things that they've done in the world. So I highly encourage that you get involved with them. All right. And the next form of wellness is emotional wellness. So emotional wellness involves developing a positive sense of self that is open to experiencing a healthy range of emotions. So here I have the Counseling and Psychological Services here on campus, formerly known as the University Counseling Center. They just changed their name. And the Center for Health Advocacy and Wellness. So I wanted to show you the Counseling Center's website real quick too. So the Counseling Center on campus, they offer amazing one-on-ones with certified counselors, therapists, psychologists here in Tallahassee. But additionally, they offer groups too. So some of the groups that they offer are Building Social Confidence Group, Understanding Self and Others, DBT Group, Issues with the Family, Graduate Student Relationship Groups, General Relationship Groups, Journey to Healing, and they have so many more. So if you're interested in any of these groups, I definitely recommend joining them through the University Counseling Center. It's great to know other people who are maybe struggling with some of the same things that you're going through, and knowing that you're not alone. And additionally, there's CHAW, which is the Center for Health Advocacy and Wellness. They have several initiatives that focus not only on health, but also wellness and also emotional wellness. As you can see, they have wellness coaching, and it's individualized, kind of based on whatever your needs are, whatever you need some life coaching on whenever you're transitioning, especially from high school to college, or if there's just any struggles that you're going on, Shaw has some amazing resources. Some of their initiatives are Healthy Knowles, the Body Project, and they also have awareness that they do. So they have the National Eating Disorders Awareness Week, Love Your Body Day, and Raise the Bar. And then next we have environmental wellness. So this focuses on being aware of and engaging in the environment that surrounds you. So there's the Sustainable Campus that you can get involved with here at FSU. And they, of course, just focus on the campus environment, making sure that FSU students, faculty, staff are just doing everything they can to take care of the environment. And then the outcome of that is, hopefully that impacts us as individuals, making sure that we're healthy because we're doing all the right things we can to take care of our environment. And then next we have intellectual wellness, which focuses on fostering critical thinking, developing moral reasoning, expanding worldviews, and engaging in education for the pursuit of knowledge. And I didn't put any links under here because if you're in college, I'm pretty sure you're getting a lot of this and you're interested in intellectual wellness. And I think another reason why a lot of the general education courses, the X and Y classes you have to take, the multicultural classes, that's just so, again, you can develop moral reasoning, critical thinking, and just learn about some other things that maybe don't necessarily have to do with your major, but something that you're definitely going to come across just working with individuals, regardless of what field that you're in. And then next we have spiritual wellness. And this involves expanding a sense of purpose and meaning in your life. And here at FSU, there is the Interfaith Council and also the Spiritual Life Project. So the Interfaith Council actually is a council where a large portion of clubs and organizations that have to do with religion are a part of. And they meet, I think, once a month. And it's great because they're all getting along and they're all wanting to just improve individuals' lives in their own way, despite maybe what their differences are, regardless of religion. So there's the Interfaith Council. And if you go to their website, they have a list of all of the different organizations that have to do with religion, if you're interested in joining any of those. And additionally, there's the Spiritual Life Project. And this focuses a little bit more on spirituality than it does on religion, and just finding your purpose in life and knowing how that kind of applies to your education and your time here at FSU and what kind of your goals are as far as, your purpose in life. And it's really good to know that you have a purpose, and the Spiritual Life Project is doing an amazing job helping students every day figure that out. And next we have occupational wellness, which involves engaging in work, volunteering, organizations, or academic endeavors in a way that provides personal enrichment and is consistent with your values, goals, and lifestyle. So of course, there's the Career Center here on campus. The Career Center is an amazing, amazing resource. They have job boards on their website. If you are having a hard time finding a part-time job, I definitely recommend you go there. They have several resources. They know people all over Tallahassee and can definitely help you get a job. Also, once you graduate, they're there as a resource. They help you find internships. They do mock interviews. They help you really buff up your resume and your cover letter. And they have, I believe once a semester, they have job fairs. So whether you're looking for an internship, a part-time job, or if you're going to graduate soon and you want to find a place where you might fit, they have people all over Florida and even all over the country come to these job fairs who are really looking to hire amazing FSU students or graduates. And it's a great way to really network and meet people from all over who are looking to hire FSU students. So definitely keep an eye on their website for those job fairs. And then additionally, for volunteering, there's the Center for Leadership and Social Change. So I did want to show you guys their website. So the Center for Leadership and Social Change has a ton of community service programs that you can get involved in. And the great thing about this is not only are you getting out in the community and getting involved and helping others, you're also eligible to get ServScript hours at the end of the semester. And ServScript hours are volunteer hours that are actually posted to your official academic transcript. So let's say maybe you don't have time to have a job, unfortunately, during college because you're taking 15 credit hours a semester and you need to keep up with your good grades and everything, but you want to have some sort of experience in some sort of field just to add it to your resume. This is an amazing way to get some experience out in the field, and it's added to your official transcript. So it's verified, and you'll find some amazing connections and resources out in the community by volunteering. They also can help you get involved with AmeriCorps. They have a community ambassador program. Peace Jam is a really big one that's done every year. And let's see, I know also they do a lot in the Leon County school system. So if you're interested in working with kids, they have reading programs, they have guidance programs where you can meet one-on-one with a student and just whatever you're interested in, you can pretty much find through the Center for Leadership and Social Change. And next, there's financial wellness, which focuses on assessing the financial resources and skills needed to accomplish your goals. And I know this is definitely one of the harder ones, being a college student. I totally understand that. A lot of the times, students don't have time for jobs, or if they do, they're not working nearly as much as they wish they could to really financially support themselves. But again, there's resources here on campus to help you plan and organize and hopefully help you stay on track with your finances. So there's financial wellness coaching at CHA, and they help you set financial goals. They help you learn saving strategies, long-term savings, budgeting, building credit, paying down debts and understanding loans, manage financial stress, and manage credit cards. So that's an amazing resource if you're really wanting to, do everything you can to try and in college in the best financial scenario that you can try and be in. And then also, these are some examples of some webinars, seminars that they've had in the past. Local banks team up with FSU, and they just go over a lot of information that's really important to know as a student. So these are some examples that they had in the spring, and I'm sure they're going to be doing more in the fall. So definitely check out the FSU events calendar if you're ever looking for any sort of events that are not even really FSU related, since this is a community event, since it's put on by Regions Bank here in Tallahassee. So amazing resource, and they go over all of these different topics with you. So those were the 9 pillars of wellness. And next, we're going to briefly talk about self-care, which ties in really well, like I said, with wellness. And I love this picture. You can't pour from an empty cup. You got to take care of yourself first. So this is so important, because if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're passionate about taking care of others, or if you're passionate about really, succeeding in school, or getting that promotion at work, or whatever it is, unless you take care of, yourself first and making sure that you're doing things that you enjoy, that really help you just make you the best version of yourself, then that is just the most important part when it comes to achieving any other goals that you might have in life. So the World Health Organization defines self-care as what people do for themselves to establish and maintain health, and to prevent and deal with illness. There are 7 pillars of self-care that tie in well with the 9 pillars of wellness. So I'm not going to go into too much depth in all of these since a lot of them are really similar to the wellness pillars that we just went over. But there's knowledge and health literacy, mental well-being, self-awareness and agency, physical activity, healthy eating, risk avoidance, good hygiene, and rational use of products and services. So here are just some examples of self-care. This is a very small list, and self-care looks different for everybody. So these are just some general examples, and even things like taking a nap or having a weekend where you don't do anything. Those are also perfect examples of self-care. But these are some amazing other self-care tasks that you can complete. And if you want to drop in the chat, or if you just want to think about what you typically do for self-care, and when was the last time you practiced self-care? So I'll wait in case anyone wants to just drop that in the chat. Or just think about, what do you typically do for self-care, and when was the last time you practiced it? Okay, so it seems like for some of you guys, it's been a couple weeks since you've practiced self-care. But I love it. Listen to music, watch Netflix, play music, distract yourself, exercise, eating a healthy breakfast. Those are great examples of self-care. Thank you guys for sharing that. So I'm going to give you guys some homework. And this is just so you guys can hopefully make some time in the next week or so to practice some self-care. So brainstorm what self-care looks like for you. Like I said, it's different for everybody. And then come up with 3 activities for self-care. And then within the next week, pick at least one day and time where you will participate in one of your self-care activities. And try to be as specific and realistic as possible. So if you guys have heard of SMART goals, I think SMART goals are very important when it comes to creating any sort of goal, especially a self-care goal, because unfortunately we like to put that in the very back of our mind sometimes. But with SMART goals, you just be very specific. You make sure that it's measurable, that it's attainable, that it's reasonable, and that it's timely. So I put some examples on here about how specific and organized these goals need to be to make sure that it's something that you will actually stick with. So let's say next Tuesday at 7 p.m., it's a specific time, Tuesday at 7, I'm going to meet my friend, and you can be more specific and have a specific friend in mind here, at Lake Lafayette Heritage Trail Park, and we are going to go on a walk for 45 minutes. That's a perfect self-care example. It's specific, measurable, it's reasonable, it's not too long, and it's only once a week. And then also this Saturday, I'm going to turn my phone off from 9 a.m. to noon in order to spend quality time with my significant other without distractions. Again, Saturday, specific day, a specific time, 9 to noon, and what your goal is. So to spend quality time with your significant other without distractions. So please do this homework and please make sure that you're practicing self-care. It's so important. And actually think about it after you do practice self-care and see over the next day or two, within the couple of hours of practicing self-care, if you feel any different. And if you feel a difference, try and remember what that feels like. And if you feel more relaxed or if you feel more energized, try and remember that feeling and practice self-care. I would say at least once a week if you are able to, and definitely make it a SMART goal to practice self-care so you have a specific day, time, and plan as far as what you're going to do and when you're going to do it in order to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. And that is everything that I had today as far as going over the pillars of wellness and self-care. And I just want to thank you guys so much for joining us. And again, these PowerPoints will be on our website, and I believe this video is recorded and will be on our YouTube also.
Yes, thank you so much, Natalie. That was amazing. I love the way you showed the interconnectedness of each of the pillars and how effects in one can have effects in another that are also positive, and just tremendous resources that you shared with everyone, especially here on campus, that are so easily available to them. So that was just an amazing job. Thank you so much.